You can never go wrong with any of the advice James Scott Bell gives in his many writing books. This is James Scott Bell's back cover blurb exercise. First, fill in the questions in the show notes. The name of your protagonist or lead character or your hero. What does your protagonist do for a living? Then tell us the first doorway of no return. This is the point where your protagonist enters the real story world. It has to be a doorway of no return or a one-way door, or as soon as your protagonist sees what's on the other side, they'll want to back out and return to their normal life. So if your protagonist thinks that he's in a happy marriage and that he's a good father, but suddenly his wife serves him with divorce paperwork, he has now entered a one-way door into the world of divorce. Even though he hasn't traveled anywhere, there's no going back to his regular life. If your protagonist is a 10-year-old boy who just turned 11 and found out that he's a wizard, there's really no going back from that either. He can't unknow that. Now tell us about the antagonist or the villain, the opposition to your hero. Why are these two opposed to each other? What is at stake for both the protagonist and the antagonist? Where will their main conflict play out? Then tell us the story question. The story question is the question that the reader is asking themselves throughout the entire novel. Will Ted become a successful single parent? Will Harry find where he belongs and survive he who must not be named? How do you want this story to feel to the reader? Creepy, brooding, inspirational, awe-inspiring, full of wonder? Now, set the answers to those questions aside and just free write for 30 minutes. Don't edit or worry about the order that things come out in. Just write, keeping that information fresh in your mind. After about 30 minutes or so, take a short break and then read through what you have and pick out the parts you really like. Put those parts in logical order. Then free write again for 30 minutes, take a break, and go through and pick out more parts that you really like and insert them into the final product that you already have. Here's a potential template for your blurb. Paragraph 1 contains the lead's occupation and their current situation. Then 1 to 2 sentences about their background and their current world, particularly if the current world contains magic or is not in the same time period as the modern world. For example, an self-important executive in the cutthroat advertising industry of New York City who is an absentee father. Or possibly an emotionally abused 10-year-old orphan living with his aunt in Little Widging, Surrey. Paragraph 2 should start with the word suddenly or but when, and add the first doorway of no return. Then add 1 or 2 sentences about what happens in Act 2. For example, but when his wife serves him divorce papers, Ted Kramer has to try to hold down his job and take care of his 7-year-old son at the same time. Or, suddenly a gigantic, burly man tells Harry he's a wizard and he's been accepted to the most prestigious British school of magic. Begin paragraph 3 with the word now. Then use an action verb in the first sentence like struggle or thrust. Or you can begin paragraph 3 with will and add questions. Now, every day Ted struggles to keep his job while caring for his son. Will he be able to balance his hectic life? Will he give up on his newfound role as father when his wife returns and demands custody? Thrust into the world he didn't know existed, will Harry find his place among the magical people of the world, or will Voldemort destroy him? Give us the blurb of your book in the chat, and I'll see you tomorrow.